DW61 Foundation raises money for scholarships.
Welcome back to Christina's Garage, Gearhead in Training. I'm here in Modesto for the American Graffiti Festival and Car Show. This car show usually takes 3 days. They did a cruise last night. They're doing the car show today and tomorrow. I'm only going to be here for this one day. Let's go around, see some cool cars, and meet some people. This is Charlie.
Yep.
I would love to learn more about the American Graffiti Festival and Car Show and how long have you guys been doing it?
Sure.
Why'd you start it?
Yeah, sure. So North Modesto Kiwanis is the event coordinator for this American Graffiti Festival. This is our 25th anniversary show and parade last night. We started it as a Kiwanis International, is an international organization of service clubs that basically serve the children of the world. And so this is a nonprofit organization. North Modesto is one of the local clubs. I happen to be Lieutenant Governor for the Division 46 for Kiwanis this year, and so we started this show. A lot of guys in our club, guys and gals in our club, are car guys and gals, and so we thought, what better way to highlight Modesto, which is the home of cruising, home of George Lucas, home of American Graffiti, and but to have a car show and have a festival. And so we started it 25 years ago this year, and this year we have a little over 1,200 cars registered for the show this weekend. We had 1,000 cars on the parade route last night, which is a downtown loop around the city of Modesto and up McHenry Avenue, which is a state highway, up to Briggsmore. It's about a 4-mile round trip. And I think there was 10,000 of our closest friends out there enjoying the sights and sounds. And so we do this, and all the proceeds raised go right back into the community. So it goes right to our service club, and we give them out mostly to organizations that benefit kids throughout the year. So,
if people are interested in contributing,
sure,
showing up to the show
sure.
helps. So
Yeah.
what other ways can people get involved?
Sure, absolutely. So we do have our website, AmericanGraffitiFestival.com, where they can go register cars. They can sign up for volunteering to help at the show, because we need a lot of volunteers. And they can make contributions if they choose to as well there. Yeah, you bet.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you only do it once a year?
Once a year, June 7, 8, 9 this year, 2024. And next year, it's typically the weekend before Father's Day in June. And some days we're blessed with perfect weather. Today it's a little warm, but it's always a great time. And we have, this year alone, I believe we have cars from 5 different states. Far away is South Dakota, Idaho, Nevada, New Mexico, I believe, is here. There might be one from Texas, I can't remember, but yeah, it's an amazing show.
I
Yeah.
love that. And
Yeah.
helping kids, how can you not?
Well, that's the thing. It's all about helping the kids and supporting families and supporting our community. So all of the proceeds we really drive right back into the community of Modesto and the county of Stanislaus, and it's a great event. It's a good feel-good event, you know.
That's what you want.
And it's all about cars, man. It's a very cool experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Sure,
Charlie.
absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
You got it.
I was walking by and just met Renee. I saw this really cool car with Dare on the side. I remember that from when I was a kid. Would you mind sharing a little bit of why you're here and what you're trying to do with the community?
Okay. My name is Renee Wallace Watson, and this was my brother, Dennis R. Wallace, and he was killed in the line of duty November 13th, 2016. And he was also a huge member of Kiwanis. And so his whole thing was working with community and raising funds and working with children, but he loved his position as a DARE officer. He absolutely adored it. And he believed that you make a difference in your community by working with kids and trying to help them change their circumstances. A lot of them grew up with families that are in drugs or in and out of jail for various things, and so that's the only way they see life until you talk to them and listen to them and you encourage them. There's sports, there's reading, there's all kinds of different programs that they could do and enjoy. And if they had problems at home, he gave them his personal phone number on his phone for work, and they could contact him at any time they needed it. So if there was a problem with family, they could call, and he would talk with them and find out resources that they could get. He had gotten reprimanded by the sheriff one time. This is back before there was unlimited phone calling, and that phone bill would get expensive. And he told him that he needed to stop giving him his phone. And he said, well, sir, I can't do that. I don't sit in an office. I'm out on patrol, so the only way they can get a hold of me and I can get a hold of them is call them directly. And so it kind of got finally put to the side, and thank goodness AT&T got smart and did unlimited. But so I'm here to show people his tribute car and let them know that Kiwanis, what a great job Kiwanis did. They're the ones that put this on. And then make people aware of his foundation. And I'm also a part of this SingCal Cops.
Okay.
And Cops is Concerns of Police Survivors, which I am. I'm a sibling. And officers who worked with him are coworkers, are survivors. And so every family member is a survivor. And this is how you become a member of this group, unfortunately. We're completely volunteer. And what these are programs that they offer for all these survivors for continual healing for the rest of their lives. And so I want people to know about our Concerns of Police Survivors. And we work strictly volunteer on grants and donations. We get people to the retreats and the accommodations are free. We just, once they go, we try to help them reimburse for their airfare to help defray the costs so that they get the proper counseling and get to be with people who know how they feel, how that are going through the same things that they have suffered. My job is to get all the information out about the COPS group and how important it is that we need the backing of the communities, especially in Stanislaus. We have lost so many officers since 2005. I work with 14 counties, so I have been with the family most recently from Selma, the Carrasco family in DC. We escorted them to go see the wall and be there when they honored their officer. I've been 5 times since my brother.
Wow.
And it's always with a new family, sadly, that you're going to be with them and hold their hand the way that COPS helped our family and everyone around us that helped us. So that's what COPS is, completely volunteer. It's 100%, and it is families that are survivors, family members, coworkers, survivors.
If anybody is interested in getting involved, whether they're local or maybe they're far away, they want to contribute somehow, how would you suggest they go about? Because you said there's 2 foundations.
Yes, the Concerns of Police Survivors, we have a national website which will also give you what your local chapter is if you want to do it locally. So we are SingCal Cops, we have NorCal Cops and SoCal. We have 14 counties. It'll tell you where you live, which chapter for every state. So any state, it'll direct you which chapter, and you can also contribute nationally if you want to. DW61 Foundation is the foundation, DW for Dennis Wallace, and 61 was his badge number when he was killed. So the DW61 Foundation raises money for scholarships and sponsor sports teams. They contributed to the handicapped park, so that could be built. They gave money for that. When bikes were stolen at Tuolumne Regional Park and they saw it in the paper, they went to the store, they bought new bikes, and they replaced the bikes for the kids to use at Tuolumne Regional Park. So anything to do with kids, they contribute to. So the money that they earn or get donated, they do a golf tournament every year in August. But any other donations, everything is 100% back into the community.
Thank you so much for taking the time to sharing your story with me, and hopefully I'm going to put all the information in the caption, so if people are interested in supporting either of the foundations,
that would be wonderful.
they'll be able to find you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. I always have an eye for Camaros and saw that this is in memory of Don Peeper? Peeper, and I wanted to ask a little bit more. Would you mind sharing who you guys are and what brought you here with this beautiful car?
My name's Paula, and this is Jeff. Like Christina said, my dad passed away in 2000, and it was suicide, and it broke our hearts. And this was his favorite car. He fixed up cars and sold them, but this was his keeper. And so when my mom was liquidating, we had to have this car because it was his favorite. And it sat for about 20 years, and now we're retired, and we felt like now's the time, if there's ever a time, to really showcase this car. And it's all in memory of my dad because he was a special person.
We don't talk about grief enough. And I don't know if you have any advice for anybody that might be going through something similar of encouragement or something that has helped you because I know with me, learning how to build the car, coming out here and doing these shows, it's helping me keep his memory alive and carry on his legacy. Is there anything that you would like to maybe pass on to someone else?
Only the grief is hard, and you go through it different from everybody else, and you just have to keep one step in front of the other and focus on the good memories that you had, and they'll get you through, but you just got to keep moving forward.
I really appreciate that, and I'm sure that there's maybe some other people that, because car stuff, a lot of it is legacy, right?
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing this
You're
beautiful
welcome,
car,
Christina.
and I love that you have his memory right on top so that everybody knows why you guys are here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
This car totally caught my eye, and Bob was mentioning that it's got a wood frame.
Yeah.
Would you mind explaining a little bit about this car and a little bit of its history?
This is built the same way that Morgan would have built a car in the 30s. They never saw a reason to change it. And the frames are all handcrafted out of wood. And then the fenders and all that are sort of either screwed on or bolted on. And the advantage of it is that it's really light. This car only weighs 1,400 pounds, which is really pretty low weight. I mean, that's getting down almost where, say, an AC Cobra or something is like 14. But this has like 90 horsepower, so it moves it pretty well.
Does it get a little bit squirrely because it's so light, when you start going a little fast?
No, not really, and it actually corners really well because it has very stiff suspension. It's an uncomfortable suspension for long driving, but it's made for racing. It was intended to, this particular model of Morgan was, you special ordered it from the factory to go racing.
And you said Morgan is a European car?
It's an English car.
Okay.
They actually built cars from 1919 they're still building cars. And the original family just sold the company. They had been in charge of the company since 1919 up to 2021.
Wow.
And they didn't change the body style much either. A 2021 Morgan looks very much like this.
That's so cool.
You know, like you have something that sells, and actually, this car in 1967, this is one of 600 built, and it's one of 50 with this particular engine and everything that makes it a competition.
Wow.
You know, and so I think one of Morgan's ideas was, why change something that works? You're still getting a back order to build those cars, you know, and like I say, the same families, not just the owner of the company, the same families were the people in the factory that built them. For, you know, and your dad built them and your granddad built them.
I didn't realize wood frames with the metal. I didn't realize that was a thing.
Well, American cars were that way up until 36.
Oh.
And it was because they couldn't bend the metal and stuff to build the frame for the body until that late, you know. Like I say, you take a Cadillac from 1930, 1934, it has that same sort of wood inside the frame of the body. They still have a metal chassis underneath, it's steel, you know, But this, the floorboards are wood, and I think the firewall's wood. The only downside is that you don't want to leave them out in the rain a lot because you'll get dry rot after.
Oh, yeah, because you mentioned the
wet.
water. If the water kind of goes in, then
Yeah.
so I guess be
that's
mindful
when you look
of that.
at these. That's something you have to look for, because if you can. What's funny is they have the not the dies but the blueprints.
Uh-huh.
You can get a hold of the company and say, I need this part of the frame, and they can cut it and send it to you.
That's good.
And then you have to have a carpenter and a body man that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You kept it in great condition, and
Yeah.
I really appreciate you sharing it.
And I like the windshields.
Yeah, the windshields are fun. You had the goggles on to make sure that you don't get
we also have a regular windshield,
a full windshield. Oh, okay.
And it folds down if you want to fold it down.
Wow.
But I prefer it with it off when you have these on, just for looks.
That's
But
awesome.
I wouldn't drive it at 50 miles an hour with these.
Ah, that would make sense. Those are your cruising windows.
You know, even with that on, you're going to get some bugs in your teeth or
That's
whatever.
funny. Well, thank you so much, Bob. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I'm so excited to be here. Everybody is so nice. That's something I've noticed across the board with all of the car shows that I've attended. People are usually really excited about talking about their vehicles. If you have questions, don't be afraid to ask them. A lot of them like to teach, which I have personally experienced myself, asking what is a turbo, what is a Hemi. People like, no question is a stupid question. If they don't want to answer it, that's okay. It's better to ask it than to not. This one's pretty cool. Now I'm learning that's a turbo. This one's got dual turbos. Really nice job, super clean. And patina. Always my favorite. Really, really cool. Oh, you can even see down and underneath here. I guess I'm probably gonna have to get a gimbal at some point because I like to record as I'm walking. You guys just get all the movement of my steps. So many cars here. One thing I do really appreciate is how much shade is at this venue. Many car shows, there won't be very much shade, and especially it's gonna get toasty today. We have all of these cars here. Oh, another Camaro. Love them. They even got bouncy houses over here. They have some other things for kids on the other side as well. Yeah, you can definitely feel the difference in the temperature as soon as you walk into the sun. I think it's gonna get in the 80s today. It's definitely a perfect day to come out here. And one thing that I've been learning about car shows and car people, at least the classic cars, is that you want to make sure that you get to these events early because they are early birds. They will arrive early and then they will typically leave early. We got here about 8:30 and it was already packed and everybody was here. And it technically doesn't start until 9. Didn't start until 9, so. Yeah, this is actually a really big show. If you guys are ever in the Modesto area. Ooh, this one's really cool. I like that. I really want to look at these seats. Really nicely done. Looks like a very comfortable ride too. I'm just gonna take you guys around with me as I walk. I'm not gonna be able to see all of the cars, talk to all of the people, because there are a lot here. I'll just take a stroll. Ah, it's Herbie! Oh, that was the honking. They have a speaker underneath, that's fun. It's kind of nice being on the grass too. It probably keeps it much cooler. All those cars on the other side. Yeah, it would be cool to hear like what kind of cars are your guys' favorite. Because mine obviously is a '69 Camaro. If you guys have a favorite, I'd love to hear those in the comments. Wow, look at all the colors. This is a cool color contrast with the black. And then, what do you call that, copper? Really pretty. Here we go, got Camaro. Got another Camaro over here. I saw a couple second gen. First gen are my favorite though. I'm not biased at all. This is a cool blue. I think that's a European car, looks like. Another slug bug. Oh, look at all the bugs. How fun. I turn around and there's more bugs. They must have coordinated all parking together. Had to come over and check this truck out because they got 2 bad flags on here. That's what I use for my truck, and also Official Patriot Gear sells them through their site. We do a package deal with the Patriot flag in there too, which is really cool. I don't usually see, you can see that it's suction cups that hold them on, and they're wonderful. Especially, it looks really great when you have 2 of them on there. And this truck is just gorgeous. They said they won a couple years ago or last year. I can see why. It's a beautiful truck. So the gentleman who owns this car said that it was built by Gene Winfield. And I guess he built the Batman car, which is super cool. I love the color. Yeah, people's stories and the stories about their cars, how they were built, who built them. It's so much fun to learn all these things. I wouldn't have ever known. And then his buddy has the Spider. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Spider-Man. Really fun. And these cars, you can make them essentially however you want to. They all have personality. Oh, that's cool. Green Goblin. Yeah, buddy. Everything has personality. They might be essentially the same car, same year. I think there was a little Spider-Man on the front. They're the same, yet they're different. A lot of passion and love goes into these cars. This one's super fun. Look at the big wheels. Oh, it's got like a skeleton hand. Really fun. I love that. Personality, man. We've even got a little rat funk. Is that, I think that's what he's called, right? I think I'm gonna be heading out soon. My brain's fizzling out. I ate lunch and I would love to interview more people. I don't know if I have the capacity for it today. You guys are awesome. Thank you again for joining me. If you want to stay updated on all the fun things that I'm doing, please subscribe to my channel. I do also have an email list. I should be updating that soon with all the different car shows that I'll be going to. Next week, I plan to go to Walnut Creek. It's exotic cars, so not classic cars, collector cars. A lot of fun things coming in the future, and if you want to stay updated, just make sure to follow along. Thank you guys again so much. I'll see you next week.